Okay, so I think we are live now. So introduce yourself, who you help, what you do, how you help them, all of those good things.
Thank you, Lori. My name is Beatrix. I work with men. I practice therapy and coaching, and I help men reset their mindset and emotional state so they can perform at their best in business or in personal life. So this is what I do.
I'm just curious how you got to working with men specifically.
That's a good question. Yes, there's a little bit of personal story behind it and my history with men. But most importantly, my business is a dedication for my late fiance, who helped me to be a better version of myself. And uh, through this journey, I just realized I'd like to give back something to men because I've experienced myself what it is like to be affected by men's health as a woman, as a daughter, and as a wife as well. So that's the reason why I work with men. And I truly believe that health matters as well, just like women's and everyone else's. So it's a space to open up for them.
Okay,
Mm.
so my next question is, how have you changed your networking strategy over time?
Mm-hmm. That's a good question. So as I've mentioned before, told you before, Lori, it's networking is something I've recently entered into or started to do, and I really enjoy it. It's something I find very important, especially in the online space and because of the service that I do or provide. Mm, During the journey, I've realized where I'm going wrong or what I could be more focusing on. And I remember you mentioned something at one of the networking events, which was about the follow-up. So that's definitely something I've changed or more focused on. Also being more open, and being more open for connections and allow the possibilities to unflourish basically or to flow.
Yeah, I remember going to networking events initially and not following up. And then I realized, oh, I'm not really getting the benefit of going to these meetings if I'm not following up and having those coffee chats with some of these people.
Mm.
And that was like a big aha moment for me. The importance of follow up, the importance of doing something with those connections besides just meeting them.
Yes, absolutely, totally, 100%, 100%. Yes. And also I think one more thing is a good one that is to really ask like good questions, to get to know each other on the call and what we do. I think that's, yeah, that's important. Do you think we could be more bolder with questions when we network? Or
Well, different networking events are run differently and have different like rules or how they work. So some of them are more like, I want to say they're more in-depth spaces where people, have time to have like a longer conversation. Sometimes you get like 40 people in the room and you're lucky that you get a 30-second introduction and, 5-minute breakout rooms and, you're lucky if you get to discuss what time zone you're in. So but those can still be places to meet people, but you're not getting the benefits if you don't follow up. Where you get to know people better, it definitely gives you more of a sense of who you would like to follow up with. And so some of the stuff that you're doing in the coffee chat, you're kind of already doing in some of those more intimate spaces where you get longer to talk.
Yes, that's right. Makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah, totally.
So, how is
Yeah.
the way that you network different from other people in your network, and how is your network different from theirs?
I've come to the conclusion that there's always possibility for everywhere. I can learn from anyone. I can connect with anyone, and it's good to take the first step and see what opportunities we can bring together, regardless of what it is. So I would say I go into it with an open mindset and bring out my best and see what we could create. Mm, I've been to a couple of networking events or styles, and I just enjoy like meeting new people. Mm, I think the what's beneficial for everyone is to really bring ourselves and be strategic about how we present ourselves or what we ask. But the rest is more of like understanding what would just come up in the present moment or deal with that.
What are your thoughts on tapping into your intuition, and how do you use it when networking?
Mm. Intuition is like when I just feel that there could be something with this person. But I mean, the possibility is always there, but that intuition is like a confirmation that yes, you should follow up with this person. Also, my intuition tells me or sends me a message that there could be, there's a message that it says there could be a good energy or good vibe between us. So there's a sign to follow up with someone. Um, Intuition always also says, of course, the opposite, but that also comes through observation. I like to observe people and what they say or things like that. You know, there's a lot more, I think, because I think networking is a lot about communication, which a lot about communication, verbal and non-verbal communication as well. And when we observe, I think through that, when intuition pops up, that's like a good combination of understanding where to take the next steps. Yeah. And I was just, before we started, if I may share something, I was thinking about like we have a feeling about everyone. Is that correct? Like we just feel, right? We feel the energy of the person and things like that. But I sometimes I don't go with that because that just might be for the present moment. Just might be in that space. But my intuition might tell me that actually just go with it. Don't listen to that feeling, that energy, vibration at the moment. But what does your intuition say? Is it a good fit or not a good fit? What is your experience? Do you feel difference between the two, or is it
Yeah,
to distinguish?
absolutely. You just totally nailed it. Like the feelings is definitely separate from the intuition. And in fact, I talk a lot about that in my content, and I'm probably going to talk more about that because it's so important to realize that they're separate things, because sometimes feelings come from like our past experience, or maybe just like what we're feeling in the moment based on like what we're currently experiencing. Whereas intuition is it can kind of be like this really subtle kind of thing. It's really like it's almost like not a feeling, but it's like okay, like a twinge, like okay, like yeah, this makes sense. So it's definitely separate from feelings. And, I've had cases where they don't match up, and I would suggest going with the intuition because the feelings change.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, you're so right. Yeah, you're so right. Yes, definitely, definitely. And intuition is more like of a more subtle, more like a rock type, whereas the feeling could be like a wave and be, yeah, exactly. Wow, that's good. Yeah, yeah. Mm, mm.
Okay. I have number 5. I don't know if you know how to answer this question, but I'm asking, at what point have you found it best to take the conversations to the DMs, and how do you do that?
In the networking events or after the networking event? Or
Yeah, like, because I know sometimes people like, converse back and forth on their, like, publicly on their profile or in groups, and then, like, how do you know when it's time to move the conversation to the direct messenger?
Mhm. I would say when follow your intuition. Um, when also, yeah, that's one actually. And when also you just feel this person would be ready as well. You are ready and you feel the person would be ready to take it further to DMs too.
Yeah,
Um, and when you have something meaningful to say. Now, what do I mean by that? I'm not just taking this conversation to the DMs because I want to know, like, how are you? But is there something that more meaningful we can share? So can we take this relationship further? Can we take our expertise, knowledge further? Can we discuss this on a deeper level? That's when I would take it to the DMs.
that is such a good answer.
uh, well, thank you. Yes.
So I'm curious, did you invest in upgrading your networking skill set?
Yes, I have actually, along with getting into networking. My personal journey has been about finding what fits the best for my ideal clients or for my services, and then what fits best for me. So I've got to the point that networking would be good. Good point. So I did, yes, I did invest in it.
So, so what investments in particular helped?
Um, like you mean?
Like, did you invest like in coaching? Did you invest like in masterminds, or like were there specific things that you invested in that really helped you?
Coaching, yes. Actually, one-on-one coaching that helps me navigate through networking and things like that. Yes, yeah. Don't think I've been. Hmm. I'm thinking, sorry, over the past few years, but this is the most, this has been the most beneficial. Yeah, the one-on-one coaching so far. Yes, yeah.
So did you invest in group programs before that?
I don't remember. I don't think so. No, no, I have not. Hmm. Would be good to try though. What is your preference, or what do you think?
I think they both have their benefits and drawbacks for sure. Groups tend to be a little less expensive, but again, it depends on the group. Sometimes they're higher to get. It just depends. Um, But one-on-one tends to be more because you've got somebody's like full attention for like that full time. Of course, the big benefit of one-on-one is, it's very personalized, it's very intimate, so you're not in there thinking like, what is everybody else in the group going to think about me, because you're just talking to one person. So there's kind of that intimacy, and you can kind of, I want to say, relax more. Although with a smaller group, it's more intimate, and it's more, when you've got tons of people that you don't know very well, sometimes it can be intimidating to talk about your personal situation, especially because you don't know those people very well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but
Mm,
and then of course in one-on-one you're getting all that, you're getting that undivided attention. I think the
mm,
drawbacks to one-on-one is you're not really seeing how other people are doing, and you're not getting that perspective of like
mm.
their experiences, which I think can kind of be a drawback to one-on-one. So I've actually been in programs where they have some one-on-one, some group, to get like the benefits of both.
Makes sense. That's a good combination because then you can have an overview
Yeah.
of what it is about. Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense.
Did you have any, I can't think of any more questions. Did you have any closing remarks or anything more you want to say?
If I might just share my personal experience with networking, I think it's a really good way to um, enhance our communication, um, just be in front of other people, practice how we introduce ourselves, which I also need to upgrade, confidence, meeting new people, of course, getting new perspectives from other people. Um, I think there's a lot of benefits for networking on a personal level as well, not just for business, but just like imagine someone can increase or enhance their communication skills or the way they appear in front of other people. And they can enhance their business results too, like better communication with prospects, better communication with clients, maybe the way they show up on social media in their content, that can be beneficial as well. So I find that networking is very interesting. It can be fun, and we can always learn. So it's also a good way to learn from each other. Now, you've mentioned, yes, provided if we have like sufficient time. Um, so yeah, that's probably the prerequisite of it. Mhm. Can I ask you a question, Lori?
Sure,
Because
go ahead.
I'm actually interested in your opinion as well, about the intuition. What um what's your intake on that?
I really
Intuition.
think when you answered the question, you really nailed what it's all about. Almost like, I mean, I've been saying it, but you almost said it better than how I usually say it, the intuition and feelings and how they're different. And because it's so important for networking, because you're using that to determine, okay, not just like who do I follow up with, and but like even just what events are going to be most useful for me to go to, because I've had that where there's like 2 or 3 events that I'm considering going to, and so I'm like, okay, then I'm just gonna like pick the one that I think makes the most sense for me now. So I'm using my intuition not only to follow up with people, but also to decide like which event deserves my time, because even with like virtual Zoom meetings, I'm not going to try to be in 2 meetings at once. I want to totally be in like whatever meeting I've decided to attend.
That's awesome. Yes, exactly. That's a good one as well. Yes, to use the intuition to decide which event to attend. 100%. Yes, that's true. That's true. That's true. Do you work, not work, that's not the right word. Do you listen to your intuition? Is your intuition the leader on your decisions in general?
Well, I have to like get input. That's kind of where the networking comes in. So there's kind of like a feedback loop. So like if I was just sitting there trying to be intuitive, not talking to anybody, it wouldn't actually do anything. I could just sit there by myself, not talk to anybody, not have anybody in my network, and just listen to the intuition. That's not really getting anything done. So in order to use the intuition, I have to get out there and have something to use it on, which means meeting new people.
Yes, that's good. Yes. Thanks for sharing. Yeah, exactly. You're so right. 100%. 100%. Yes. And as a host for networking events, what do you think makes an event a good, whatever that means, but successful networking event?
So I think successful is like meeting people who are worthwhile for you to add to your connections. And so I think depending on your industry, depending on what your goals are for networking, the types of people you want to meet, you know, like there's not really good or bad networking events. It's more depending on what your specific goals are. So maybe an event that is super amazing for one person might not be as big of a benefit for somebody else. So it's just, you've got to customize it to specifically what works best for you.
Right, that makes sense. Yeah. Oh, I've learned something. Thank you for sharing. That's good. That's good. Thank you. Yeah, for specific goals you've got. Makes sense. Yeah. Thank you, Lori. Nice. Nice.
Did you have anything else to add, or should we wrap it up?
I don't at the moment. Have you? Do you have anything?
No, I think we're good.
Hmm.
So we can always like do another event at some later date.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
anyway, so gonna end the live stream now.
Thank you for having me.
You're you're welcome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thank you, Lori.